Welcome back everyone! Today we'll hopefully start a new series of videos about functions and tips across Python, Excel and maybe some other software for data analysis and data science. In this video specifically, we'll see how to accomplish the same job while using Python pandas commands from one side and its closest or equivalent ones in Excel. For this video, I downloaded an Excel file from Kaggle and the final sheets and Python files stored in my GitHub page are linked in the description below this video. One last thing before starting, I provide you with a second version of my Excel file which is called tab dog breeds ranked. The reason behind this decision is that many of you could be asked to work or just want to learn how to deal with tables format in Excel. And by the time the very same commands need a few tricks to make these functions work properly, I'll show you some rules to follow at the end of this video. Okay, don't waste time and let's jump back into the code. So we of course start from Python and we want to select or better filtering information, and we're going to do the same in Excel. Now let's start with pandas and see how to do that. As you can see here, I'm going to say I filtering multiple criteria inside our data frame, and I can do in two ways. In the brackets you can see the lock and iLock, it's the second way. Let's start as we used to. First of all, I imported the data frame, and whenever we in pandas Python we want to select multiple information from a pandas data frame, we need this structure. Our data frame, where is not df but it's dog. The first criteria is inside the brackets. Then, as I want another criteria, which is not to be exclusive, I use the AND operator. So the first criteria is dog score and must be higher than 3.0. That's first one. Second condition, I just want dog intelligence. Okay, it must be equal, and so that's the operator, above average. And that's the result we got. I have only 5 records. Now I can do the same thing with the lock and iLock. Let's see briefly. The same command, I just add dog.lock, .lock, and now all the information I select before are just the rows, and now I select all the columns necessary, and I got the same result. Okay, now let's see how to do that in Excel. In Excel, we're gonna use the filter function. In this case, we follow the same scheme, the same pattern as did in pandas. So first select the whole data frame, then we select all the value that matching our two conditions, score higher or equal 3.0 and intelligence equal above average. Just pay attention to the format of your data. Score must be number, as here, and intelligence must be whatever you want. Now, in the case that you're not using a British format, just go to File, Options, Advanced, and here in Use System Separators, choose decimal separators, point, thousands, commas. Okay, now we're ready to work and go to the function equal. Let's focus, filter, and select only 3 inputs. The first one is the whole data frame. Select the first value and then hold on Ctrl, Shift and right arrow and then down arrow. Now we got the whole data frame. We select the first condition, and the first condition is score higher than 3.0. By the way, as we say the structure is equal to pandas, we say first condition is in common in curved brackets. AND operator becomes the star or asterisk, and the second condition once again around the brackets, and finally another C2 88, and then we say higher than 3.0. I can write it here because this column is in a number format. Otherwise, you can choose an empty cell and write your number. Second condition, we go to intelligence, select all the column, and then we say equal, this time, because it's a text, above average, and close it. Now we run the code, and let's see here. We have 5 records, and they are the exactly same records we found in pandas. Now let's go back for the second function in Python. Okay, here in the second function, we just ordering the same result we got at the first function, so we're not wasting time here. I just copy and paste the same function before, and I want to now sort all the values in descending order. So just sort values according to, let's say this time, popularity ranking. So popularity ranking. And I want, as I told you before, in descending order. So ascending equals false. And the results, as you can see, the same as before, but now we have popularity ranking 84 as the first record, and then later on till the fifth one, which is only 44. Now let's see immediately on Excel. No need to be heroes, so just copy and paste the formula from filter and paste it in sort. Now we make a few changes in the formula. First of all, pay attention that I had to lock all the values from the previous formula, otherwise I cannot copy and paste. Now, I just use sort for my values, and then select the column for or the criteria about which I do my sorts, which is the fourth one, popularity ranking, and finally -1 for descending order. Pay attention that I'm using semicolon, but because it's the setup of my country. Probably you're using commas and it's work, so no problem at all. Let's run it, and we see the same results as before, but now in a different order. Affenpinscher, I don't know how it's pronounced, is the first one, 84, then 81, and so on. Okay, nothing to add, let's go back to Python. Okay, what you read is exactly what we're gonna do now. We start with pandas for the code, but the idea starts from Excel because I want to replicate the SUMIF function, which is another element, another function that you're gonna be to use very often if you work as a data analyst in Excel, maybe even for data science work. And of course, at the same time, we use a lot group by in pandas. So for this reason, even if we can replicate the same thing by using iLock or lock or the same filtering as we watched before, I prefer now showing group by. It's pretty easy. What I'm gonna do here now is sum all the score for only 30-year type of dog. So in pandas, it's pretty straightforward. I use dog.groupby, and I select the column my criteria. So in this case, I select for type. Once I'm done, I need to do something here, and I sum all the elements. Finally, I select score because this is the column I'm interested in at the end. I associate groups a variable because now I call it group, yeah, with the name of one of the values of my interest. In this case, I'm interested in Terrier, and that's what yeah. Okay, I got a result which is 33.45. Now let's see how to do that in Excel and if we got the very same result. SUMIF followed the same pattern we followed for the pandas group by, but it's a bit different in the order. So let's understand what we're gonna do here. First of all, we understand that in the formula we need to select 2 range and 1 condition. The first range is the column according to which a condition is verified or not. So in this case, type, because we need to understand if the value we're searching is Terrier or not. Then we select the condition, which is Terrier, and finally the range of the values that need to be summed up, in this case the column of score. So let's see how to do that. SUMIF, by the way, let's zoom in. SUMIF, the range, as I told you before, is the one of the condition, so 38. Select all the values, and as I understood and learned my lesson, I lock them with F4. Then we can move to the criteria, which is 38. No need to specify any other symbol. And finally, the score column. We close and run the code. The result is 33.45, which is the same as in pandas. Now let's see how to do the same thing with multiple conditions in both pandas and Excel. I thought it was a good idea not to let you down in case you were wondering, hey, but if I want to use some, if, or multiple conditions in not just pandas, but even in Excel, well, okay, let's just make the same example. So we're not changing a lot, we're doing the same thing. We're gonna sum all the score for 38, and as a second condition, I chose in the column that for some reason called size point one, because I didn't change the name when I uploaded the Excel file. Anyway, I want 38 as a type, and as a size, I want a small, okay? So nothing different. I can even just copy and paste for not wasting time. This one, let's call GROUP2, and I say now as a list of elements, type and size.1. Yeah, it was size.1. What a dumb way to read the file. Sum and yeah, score. Once I done, as I did before, group 2, and now I can select my data 38 as a first condition and small as a second one. Let's see. And my final result is 26.99, and it's of course coherent because I now narrowed my selection. Before I had only 38, but among 38 I only want the small one, and now the sum is different. Let's see once again in Excel. The good news is that SUMIF follows the same pattern as SUMIF. Unfortunately, someone at Microsoft thought it was a good idea to change the order of the inputs. Sometimes they make me get on my nerves. Anyway, let's see how to do that. First of all, we need to SUMIF, okay, to select the range of the values to sum up, so the score. I can even not block this time, it's not important. Then we select the range of the value of the first condition, which is B2 to B88, which is the type. And now we select the criteria of this type, which is 38. Now the second condition comes from the column of the value we need to sum up according to the condition of the size, so small. 2. Sorry. 88. And the condition is small. Okay? Now we can run it and say the result is 26.99, which is the same as in pandas. Before leaving, as I promised, I think it was worth to speak a few words about a different way to deal our formulas. Sometimes, first of all, I'm in tab dogbricks ranked file, which is the same file as the original one, but this time we're working on table format of our data. Why? First of all, how to create a table. You go to a cell where you got your values, you click CTRL plus T, and the message say create table. You say OK, and once you're done, you go on the right. Now I go to, and you will find a new voice called Table Design. In Table Design, you can insert your name. Choose whatever you want. I chose dog because the same name of our pandas data frame, and it makes you easier to understand what I'm talking about. Why it's important? It's important because whenever you work with some of the formula we watched today, here for instance filter, you will see that now every reference to the interval or the range are changed. It's no more C2 till C88 for instance, but it's dog for the whole interval, the whole data frame, and then dog square bracket and the name of the column of the reference of our formula. Pay attention in this case to some of the data. We see that we have to change the number before, but now, for instance, look at here, if I go to score, it's general, so it works. In the table format, something can work even if you don't change the format, as we used to do in Excel in a normal range. For instance, there's a difference, just to make you understand, it can work in both ways. Remember in this formula we have two conditions. Terrier as a type, as small as size. So if I go to size, Terrier, I go right click, format cell is general, and it worked. But if I go to size here, now it's size 2, for instance, go to small, I see that the format cell is general. But if I go, for instance, intelligence, format cell is a text, so it may work in different way. I thought it was worth referring to this because sometimes you may be asked to work or to share files in a different format, okay? This video ends here. Once again, I hope this will be the first of a new series of videos for this channel. I'll make my best to make these new contents as much straightforward and code focused as I can. So if you like this idea and want to make some proposal about specific requests, feel free to engage in the comment section. Thanks again for your attention, and if you like this content, please drop a like and or subscribe. Bye bye friends!